we live in a world that is just exploding with color. It's everywhere. But what if I told you that all of that complexity, every single shade you've ever seen in a painting or a photograph, can be traced back to just 3 originals? Today, we're going to break down that simple, kind of beautiful code that builds the entire world of color as we know it.
So how in the world does that even work, right? How do you get millions, literally millions, of different colors from just a few starting blocks? Well, it's not magic, it's actually a system. And once you get how that system works, it kind of changes the way you see everything.
Okay, so it all starts at the foundation. To build this world of color, we first have to figure out which elements can't be made themselves. These are the true originals, the starting points where everything else begins.
Just 3. That's it. That's the number that holds everything up. Every other color you can possibly think of is just a combination, a mix, a little variation. But the pure, unmixable originals, yep, there are only 3 of them.
And we call these the primary colors. They're the absolute building blocks of the visual world, mostly because you just can't create them by mixing anything else. They are the source, full stop.
And here they are, the superheroes of the color world: red, yellow, and blue. They're pretty powerful all on their own, for sure, but their real magic, the really cool stuff, happens when they start to team up.
So, what happens when our superheroes do team up? Well, this is the very first step in expanding our world, where a whole new generation of colors is born, straight from those originals.
See, when you mix any 2 of those primary colors, you get something totally new. It's called a secondary color. You can think of these as like the first generation kids, created directly from our 3 originals. So, red and yellow, they give us a super vibrant orange. Yellow and blue create a beautiful, lush green. And when blue and red get together, they mix to form this rich purple. So if the primaries of the superheroes, these guys are their essential sidekicks.
But the fun does not stop there, not even close. With our 3 primaries and our 3 secondaries, we've now got 6 colors to play with. And this is where the palette starts to get really interesting. So the next step is to mix a primary color with one of its neighbors, a secondary color. This combination creates a whole new layer, and it starts to fill in the gaps on our color wheel, adding all this new depth and nuance. We call these tertiary colors. They're kind of like the grandchildren of the originals, giving us these really nuanced shades like red-orange, yellow-green, and blue-violet. They add a whole new level of complexity and richness to everything.
All right, so let's bring it all home. By starting with just 3 colors that you can't even make yourself, we've built a system that can branch out into this almost infinite spectrum of possibilities. It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory, it's the foundation for pretty much all visual art and design. There's this great line that says, by learning how colors work together, we can create designs that are visually stunning. And this system is the key to all of that. So the biggest takeaway here, the one thing to remember, is this. From the simplicity of just red, yellow, and blue, an entire universe of color is created. It's this beautiful, elegant system of mixing and combining that builds all the visual complexity we see around us every single day.
So next time you're looking at a sunset, or a painting, or even just the clothes you're wearing, try to remember the simple code that's hiding behind it all. You can trace pretty much every color back to its origin. Now that you know this system, how's that going to change the way you see the world?
Goodbye!
Bye!
Bye.